Welcome back to another episode of Coaches on the Beach. Today we have Kelly Reeves joining us, and it's a Gucci episode. If you don't know what that means, stay tuned, listen up. Kelly will describe it for you. Really enjoyed talking with her. If you also enjoy this one, if you could help us out and just drop a like on the video or the podcast wherever you're listening to it, or subscribe to our channels on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. That would be greatly appreciated, and it's help support us. Let us know that you're liking the content, how it's being delivered, and we'll keep putting it out for you. But till then, enjoy this one with Kelly, and we'll see you next week.
Awesome. Well, Kelly, tell us a little bit about being a UCLA alum. What was it like playing indoor there, winning a national championship, if my math adds up correctly?
Yeah. I mean, I played indoor there, so I loved being a Bruin. I fell in love with the campus at the time, I think it was a visit, and then I just loved being in the gym. I loved playing for the community and what, it means to be a Bruin. I loved all my teammates. The year we won was my sophomore year, so I'm convinced we were like the underdog. Like no one picked us to win. Like we were the ninth seed. And I think we just had a great playoff run. And I think it came down to our team chemistry and playing for each other, playing for the seniors, and just kind of had the perfect playoff run. And it was the greatest moment of my collegiate career. And I think towards the end of my career as well, indoor, we got beach. So I got to play on the beach team for it was 1 year in spring, my junior year. And I thought it was this is the coolest thing ever. We took our whole indoor team and went out to the beach and had no idea what we were doing, but we were just this is so cool. It's so fun.
Yeah.
But then I did the indoor route and then kind of just got onto the beach late from the professional standpoint. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
I had a great experience at UCLA. It was super fun. And now to
Yeah.
be back, it's even better.
Yeah. Do you look around at things and you're like, man, I wish I had that when I was in college here or anything along those lines? Any big changes around poly or stuff like that?
Well, Poly was under construction my sophomore, junior year. And my freshman year, we played in Poly, and it was the famous half curtain. So for those Bruins out there, those alumni, they might know what that means. But and then we played in Collins Court, and then Poly my senior year. So I mean, being in Poly is always great. Football and basketball, they have their own facilities now. They've renovated some dorms. But yeah, I mean, I love walking around campus. I think my favorite part is just going up to where the academics are, like North Campus,
Yeah.
and to see just it's Royce Hall and the Powell Library. Like those are my favorite buildings. I go on my grateful walk every morning before we, start our day as a staff at UCLA. So I think it's a good reminder that even though we're in the biggest city, like in LA, we're surrounded by trees and nature, and I think it's just it's our own little paradise up in Westwood. So I love coming to work every single day. And I mean, I have no bad day at UCLA. So it's just when I get on the 405, it's oh gosh, puts it into perspective. But I love being on campus. I'm a Bruin through and through. My mom was a Bruin coach there. My brothers and I went there. We all kind of crossed at one point. My dad was an Oregon Duck. So.
Ooh.
But yeah, a lot of family history being a Bruin. So
Yeah, that's awesome. It's got to be cool to make it a family tradition. I mean, you see that a little bit along the lines with some families, especially in Southern California. You're a San Diegan, so you grew up. What club did you grow up playing for? Indoor, obviously.
so indoor, yeah, I mean beach we play for fun, but for indoor I play for WAVE. So I started U12s, went all the way to 18. And then I coached there for a little bit once I, graduated from college and moved back home. And then I mean I'm good friends with Matt Olson and all the coaches there. That's where I kind of got my start and fell in love with the sport. So thank you, WAVE.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
did you kind of decide to make that transition? So you went and played in Switzerland a little bit, indoor, and then you were like, all right, I'm enough of this inside stuff, not speaking French. What's going on here?
Right. Yeah, the dream was to, push myself as far as I could go with indoor. That was the Olympic dream was the goal. But fell short and I got cut from the indoor team. And then I think beach was always in the back of my brain because I grew up playing it just for fun down at Moonlight. And then played CBVAs just for fun. And then when we got it at UCLA for that one short stint, because it just started to happen
Yeah.
when I was on my way out, and I kind of got a taste of it. And I was like, oh, like I can maybe do this. Like this is super fun. Like I felt like it fit my style of play more. Like I wasn't very specialized as an indoor player. I kind of did everything. Like I was the utility like glue type player.
Yeah.
But beach was something that like it kind of suited me and like what I wanted to do, like with my skills. So I literally just plopped myself on the beach, learned a lot from YouTube, and then I tried to surround myself with the best of the best, and like I was the practice bait for, Carrie Walsh and April and all those top teams. Like when I started in 2015, 2016, and I learned, and then I asked Holly McPeak, like, how do I get my start? And I think at the time it was like the EDP program, which was like a small training group. And then just kind of from there, you just network and put yourself out there and see what happens. And yeah, I think it was just, I don't know, just like it was a new love for the sport versus like indoor. I think it kind of just ran its course. So
Yeah, it tickled your brain in kind of the right way
yeah.
to start this new thing. You played on the AVP for a little while, right? What are some of the things that you remember maybe early on? You're like, okay, this is how I play beach volleyball. This is an important thing to as you start to get a little bit later in your career, like, okay, here's how the game's evolving. What do you remember that from playing?
Yeah, so when I first started, I was really bad. Like playing in the wind was the hardest thing ever. I wish we could play like in still elements always. So I think that was a big learning curve of just using the environment and understanding like what the wind does, given with all the skills of like pass, set, attack, even just like your line of approach. Like that was hard for me to learn. But I felt like I kind of got away with it because I guess I'll humble brag. I was just like, I don't know, I could just figure out how to get my feet there and spike and make a play. I mean, it wasn't the prettiest, but from a technique standpoint, I had to learn just the nuances of that. And then over the course of my career, just learning more of the strategy and then the mental, the mindset piece of it all, because as you climb the ranks and the level, it's just who can side out more consistently, who manages the errors better. And then I learned a lot working when I was at LMU coaching, like that philosophy under John Mayer and like learning from him like as a coach, but then I got to play that summer under his philosophy and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is like if I had this when I first started, I would have been a completely different player." But I think that's what makes my career, I guess, unique in a way. It's where I kind of had to be self-sufficient and kind of figure out on my own. And tried, like I said, I tried to surround myself with the great minds of our sport at the time and worked with a lot of different coaches to kind of be, mid-pack of AVP because I feel like at the time you had April who was in her prime, Carrie Walsh was there when I started out, you had Jen Kessie, you had like players like Caitlin Ledoux, you had Gina Urango, even Benny Benson. I'm trying to think who else. Just like I mean that era was just they've been doing it for so long, so I had to play like catch up. So just learning to be patient through that process, knowing that like I kind of got a late start on the beach, but I mean, I grinded and worked really hard and I had some good finishes toward the end of my career, I would say, but
Yeah,
um,
you podiumed in Manhattan at one point, right? Took a third, I think, or
I
something.
took a third. That's my best finish ever with Therese Cannon. Still one of the best finishes ever. We talk about it to this day. That's my girl, Therese.
That was a crazy one because I think I might be off, but I think that was the same Manhattan that Eric Baranic
Yes.
and Bill Kolinsky makes. So Eric and Bill was just coming back because he got like in trouble with the AVP because he
Oh,
sided with
yeah.
1440, so he was like banned. And then the first tournament back was Manhattan, and he's the qual. Him and Eric are the qualifier. They fight four matches through the qualifier. Then they play all day on Friday, losing their first and winning the next two. And then they win three on Saturday, and then they're playing on Sunday, and they beat Case Beer on Sunday with I think Billy Allen that year. And it just was like this wild third place finish. And then you and Therese were having a great tournament as well. It was a cool one. It was a really fun Manhattan Beach that year?
I mean, the Manhattan is the most prestigious event, I think, in our sport, especially domestically. Like we say it's our Wimbledon, the granddaddy, but the best of the best. Like the dogs come out for that one and everyone wants, their name on the pier or I mean that's the tournament with like the weighted points and the best prize money. So to get that finish was huge. Like I still get goosebumps talking about it. It's great. But not anymore. No, I don't play anymore, so
I remember that one the most because that was the Manhattan Beach that I lost two of my toenails at. Like the sand got so hot and
yeah.
you burn the skin underneath and it blisters and it pops your toenails turn black and they pop off.
Yeah, no. I feel
It's
like
gross.
any beach athlete has lost pretty much all their toenails, or if not a couple. So
Yeah. It's a fun one. So you finish up playing. Obviously, you jump in with LMU, who at the time, John Mayer is coach of the year this past year, so we know him pretty well if you pay
yeah.
attention to our sport. Also had a pretty good assistant coach, Angie Akers, was rocking around. What are some of the things that you remember most from that year, as you're transitioning from player to coach, or were they still just making you jump in at practice every day, having to do plays all the time?
So yeah, so I think that was 2022. So it was the volunteer position. So I would still, and it was during the actual season. So I would go to practice and then I would try and train as much as I could.
Hmm.
Um, But I think just like learning under John and Angie of like, because I didn't really understand the team dynamic of like what beach volleyball is, because I only got like a quarter of it, and we were just like, this is the coolest thing ever. So I think learning like the team within the team and like learning how to coach in the box for the first time was something like, whoa, like you're kind of leading the charge. And I think how he teaches like the ecological learning, the constraint-led approach. Um, I think the point scaling of like the +2, -1, I think it's super valid and just like always having like themes to, have throughout practice. So it gives us like something to talk, like to think about versus being all over the place because our minds and thoughts can go every which direction. But I think just learning under them for those 4 months was like the greatest gift of like my introduction to coaching beach. And then to take what I learned from LMU into that summer when I was with Delaney Merwerder, like we may have not got like the best finishes, but I think it was like the best volleyball that I've ever played. Just with like what I've learned through that short stint at LMU. So I'm very grateful. I'm very appreciative of having that opportunity. And luckily, like I still talk to them to this day whenever we're against each other or at tournaments. Like we're always talking and chatting and reminiscing on that year. But I'm very grateful to have that experience, and it's taught me a lot and it's put me in the position where I am today. So
Yeah. So after LMU, you get a chance to kind of come back and be at your alma mater. We're going
yeah,
into your third year coaching there, going into
yeah.
year three. What is kind of the big learning curve that first season of like, okay, this was volunteer. Okay, now I'm being paid. Now I gotta like gotta do all this other stuff. She wants me in the office. What is the office? I've never been here before.
I think just the learning curve was just like going through the full calendar year of like college sports. Like I didn't really know what recruiting was. I mean, I knew what it was, but I like didn't understand like I mean, I remember going out to my first recruiting event, like I had no idea which way to go on the beach. Like I was in the completely like wrong division. So I kind of got lost, but I think like kind of just getting my toes wet with that, just kind of like seeing like recruiting at the juniors level. Cause I still coached club. So I knew a lot of juniors, but I didn't really like understand like how intense it was. And then just going through the fall, like what fall ball is like, the hours of training, the lift. I think that was just new. And then just the administration side as well. Like there's just always fun admin stuff that we have to do, which I think now I enjoy and have a better grasp on. But I think, yeah, just the whole, like the seasons of like what the fiscal year entails, like just making sure you're not, peaking too early, but like making sure you understand the seasons. I think that was the biggest learning curve. Like after my first year, so then that was like better, smoother for year two. And then now for year three is just being more efficient. So and being on top of tasks.
Well,
So
and I'm sure it'll be quite a new experience. So I actually talked to Jenny a little bit ago, and one of the things she always talked about was how fun the dynamic between Jose's kind of Brazilian style and
yeah.
Kelly's ecological dynamics background. Uh,
Yeah.
talk about like how you combine those two, because I do think here's where the irony is, and we talked about it with Alex Luna a little bit, who coaches at Boise State now, but there is a little bit of similarity between the two, right? Because
Yeah.
Brazilians tend to not give a ton of feedback, but
Right.
the difference is that it's a super constrained environment. So, how do you kind of go about that dynamic?
Yeah, I thought we just got I would say it's like a house blend, like, and that's the beauty of coaching. Like I don't think there's like a cookie cutter way, like there's no one right way of doing it. Like if it was, I feel like someone would be winning like 12 national championships in a row.
Yeah.
But I think like our dynamic, it was we did a really good job of like being intentional, having a focus, and we were all about like progression throughout a practice. I mean, we try to manage the load and volume given the day to day, the week to week, to month, depending on the season of what we're in, whether that's fall, winter, or spring. So I thought we did a really good job of collaborating on that. And I think, every player is different too. Like certain players like the reps, others not so much, but it's like trying to find the balance and the blend of both, I think is very helpful. And I think Jose did some really good stuff with our blockers, and I was focusing on more of the defenders, and we would just always find ways to collaborate. And I think the word progression was just something that we were always trying to implement in practice. So, like I said, it was a good house blend because, like, I don't think there's one right way to do it. I think just seeing the evolution and what coaches are doing now. Like, I mean, it's all kind of the same fundamentals, but it's just adding a fun new twist to it too. So, and that's part of our coach's craft. So,
Yeah. Do you feel like your own style has started to kind of made its way out, or everybody's a combination of what they've done in the past, right? What would you say is kind of your
yeah,
main
I
tenets?
think, I mean, I'll give credit where credit's due. Like, I mean, I didn't learn this by myself. Like, I learned from, my coaches as a player, whether that was indoor and on the beach, and then like my club coaches as well. I learned a lot from John and Angie. I learned from Jenny and Jose. Like, we're all kind of like learning from each other. We're always collaborating, and I think that's like super important as a coach. And I think that's the beauty of it too. But I think just finding like kind of the foundation and the structure of like this is like the building blocks of my coaching, and then just like you can always, remove furniture or insert furniture and make it your own. So trying not to always be adding like too much new material because then it's like the kids can't comprehend, or it's just nothing will stick.
Hmm.
As long as you have like the basics, and then you can always, spice them up a little bit. I think that's super important. But
You
I think, and
mentioned,
also too,
oh, sorry.
oh, go ahead.
You mentioned that like when you went to LMU, you were learning about how to coach in the box for the first time and how different that was. And now as you're getting through your coaching career, how would you say that has adjusted, or like what are your focuses now in the box versus what they would have been back then when you were first starting, or what you were looking at as a player?
I think like from a coach to player, I feel like what I learned the most is like sometimes you just need to like ask them what they want. Like I think that's super important versus me as the coach to always tell them what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Some kids respond well, some don't, but I feel like learning what their needs are in, a match situation where it's on the line and it counts for something, I think is super important because the last thing I want to do is like add stress to a more stressful situation where it's like we're the like dual defining match, let's say. So I think that was, I mean, I was always myself coaching in the box. Like I always bring the Gucci vibes, but then if like I need to, be, less is more, then like, okay, I'm going to do that depending on what kid I'm coaching. And I was very fortunate, the Lions were very open arms and they allowed me to, navigate through that. But like, we always collaborated together. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not the one just like, you have to do this, this, this. It's, what do you see? What do you want to do? Like, we've been doing this, maybe try this. So it's kind of more of a group effort. And then I think just you work with so many different athletes over the course of the year and the maturity, it's like they're always changing. And I think understanding what their needs are is super important in the box because it's high stress out there. Like I think
Yeah.
it's more stressful sitting in the box because you can't go do it. Like being a player, like that's the easy part. Like you get to go out there and side out. But yeah,
One of the things I always tell our athletes is that like I can't go out there and score the points. So it's much
right,
easier for me to adjust my coaching to you than it is for
right,
you to adjust your playing to my coaching. So
yeah,
that's where we need that feedback mechanism coming in and understanding what we need and what we don't need. And I think figuring that out in the early part of the fall is one of the more difficult things that I think some of our student athletes go through on a year's basis is just figuring out how to communicate what you need.
yeah. I think that's an important tool as an athlete, just to like have that awareness. I think is super important because I feel like they have a pretty good, sense of like if I'm stressed out, they can sense that. So then that's going to cause them to stress out. So I try to be very like calm, cool, collected, and like if they need me to be hype, like I'll be hype. But I always kind of ask them like, what do we need? Like, what do you need? What do you want in the situation? And then I'll kind of cater towards that. But I mean, I think as a player too, like you have that like weird sense of like you kind of know what's going on around you. And if
Mm-hmm.
like your coach kind of says something in a tone that like triggers you, it's like, whoa, like that could send you the wrong way.
Yeah,
But I also think it's like having that communication between the player and coach is super important because, as coaches, we're trying to guide them to be at their best.
mm-hmm.
But then players too, it's like, okay, like you need to respect your coach as well too. Like, don't treat us, don't treat us poorly. But yeah, I think it's like the fun jigsaw of like how we as humans, that relationship, that connection piece as coach, player, player, coach.
For
I
sure.
think it's super important. Yeah.
You guys probably have like one of the biggest challenges with that, right? Because your athletes aren't just one, I bet throughout the year they might still be seeing their club coach down the street, right? Like, oh, I trained with Holly McPeak for the last
Yeah.
9 years of my life, right? I saw her at Whole Foods or Erewhon on Saturday. Right. And then also the fact that like, okay, well, Barb Fontana told me to do this, and you're saying something that's maybe not different, but or maybe not wrong, but different, right? It's like kind of that trick.
Yeah.
Managing that, and it's like who am I to argue with Holly or Barb or somebody
Yeah.
that's played the game at a really high level. So you guys probably have a really big challenge. What does that conversation with your athletes look like as you continue to work towards buy-in, or do they just come in and blindly trust you? They're just like Kelly,
They
just
come
show
in.
me the
They come
way.
in. Right. I think our athletes are very they're very curious. They take their volley very serious. I mean, I think what we do at UCLA, like we hold them to a very high standard and how we teach the sport. I mean, I feel like how I treat is like be a sponge. Like there's not one Dumbledore that's going to give you all the tools. Like there are some really good coaches out there that have really good insight and have experience. And how I say something to a kid, it may stick, it might not stick. But if I say like you could say the same thing and it'll stick.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of coaching and teaching is like we're all collaborating together. And I think as the athlete from experience, like certain things stuck with me depending on what coach told me. So I think tone is super important. How you deliver it is super important. But I feel like I'm a coach that's like, it's a great experience no matter who you go with. I mean, yeah, I think there's some good coaches out there. You learn from them, you reflect on them, and if you take one or two things away, like that's going to help your craft and your trajectory of where you want to go in the sport. So, yeah.
Yeah. Are you do the kids know like, okay, Kelly stopped saying the word Gucci, so things are really concerning. We should
Oh God.
start to stress out.
I try not to say it too much, but like I mean, whenever I do a text and be like, instead of like sounds good or okay, I'm like, all right, Gucci. Like it's just habit now. Like you guys saw in the group text, I just do it. They love it. They're like, is this Gucci? I'm like, yes, girl. It's always Gucci. We're always Gucci. You gotta keep the Gucci vibes. That's what I'm about. That's my coaching pillar is Gucci.
Is Gucci. That's
We're
perfect.
always good. Yeah, it's I don't know, it just keeps things light, it keeps it fun, it's not so serious, gets everyone to smile or question, like, what does that mean? Like, just go with it.
Yeah,
The
just
Gucci
it's all
gang.
Gucci. You don't understand. It's a feeling. It's a
Yeah, it's just
ambiance.
part of what comes with Kelly Reeves. So you either you like it or you don't. So it's all good.
Well, you've kind of seen the game continue to progress. Obviously, you were playing one of the first years of collegiate beach, and now, right, this last, I don't know, probably a couple weeks ago by the time this episode comes out, but you were at NTDP in Chula Vista, and you're continuing to prepare, like you said, for the UCLA season. What are some things that are going to be major tenets for the Bruins this year? Things that you maybe want to add to their game or things you want to refine from last year? It's hard to say. You guys had a pretty great season last year, and so
Yeah.
building on that has got to be a challenge.
As you kind of get deeper into that tournament, it's always siding out at a high percentage. And, I think serving tough is always something that I think that's like the biggest jump from like even juniors to college to even the pro. It's just that's the one skill we don't teach enough, I don't think.
Mm,
So kind of getting back to serving and just how can we be like how can we serve aggressive? I think it's super important. But I mean, yeah, I mean, all the skills are super important, but I think what we learned from just at the Gulf Shores, like that semifinal run, like LMU playing the Lions, like what a phenomenal season, what a phenomenal team they are. And it just came down to just like a 2 point run. It's just like, what do you do? Like it's just tough. It's hard to watch, but hopefully next year we'll be on the other side, but we'll see. I mean, we're just gonna go back and continue to grind and work, and we're always learning, we're always improving, and in each skill, there's not one skill. I think all skills are important. But yeah, I mean, I would like to get back to serving tough because I think LMU did that really well and kind of put us into some trouble. And that's where they kind of got that like, that 2 point swing. And then yeah, just being gnarly, we want to be gnarly always.
yeah. If Joe Trinzi ever did a stat, I think LMU would come out as the top serving team because that's been a pretty
Yeah.
common theme from
Yeah.
folks I've talked to. It's just and watching it. What do you think is a key tenet of serving? What are some things that you want to get your in order to make a gnarlier serve for
Mm.
your Gucci squad on the service line?
Yeah.
How are you? What are some of the things that you're trying to key in on? Is it the type of serve? Is it how they serve? Is it intentionality? What are some of
Yeah.
the key factors there?
I think it's like a combination of both of what you said. It's just like I think the toss is always important, but like I think kind of going offline, using the wind is always important, like a hybrid serve, top spin serve. I think the more variety and the more serves that you have, like the better. And like obviously like serving different areas too. I think it's just how can we find ways to, get the team out of system is super important. But I think, as a server, it's if you have at least three different types of serves, I think is super important versus just one. I mean, unless you have one gnarly serve,
Yeah.
I mean, by all means, rip as many aces as you can, but it's always good to have a serve for each element that we compete in. Because like if it's like what was that one FIVB tournament where the wind was absolutely crazy? It turned to basically just volleys. It was like
Oh,
recently this year.
Mexico.
You're not gonna rip jump serves in that. Like,
Yeah.
no, you're gonna have to like underhand chip to get it in. So
Yeah.
it's again, it's being adaptable and sharpening whatever serve you think is gonna get the team out of system, I think is super important. So you don't need to have eight crazy serves, but start with three and go with there, but make them like really tough.
Yeah.
So
When you're talking about offline serves, is that just outside of the body? Is that off the hand in a weird way? Like what does kind of that offline mean?
yeah, it's a little bit of both. It's like you can go wrist away, thumb up, look one way, go the other.
Yeah.
So
It just feels like it moves weird on the team, or they're cueing so much on what you're doing that it like they're moving the wrong direction if you go offline.
yeah, it's a little bit of both of like, I mean, the ball and so like the ball can kind of travel on a different line. It
Hmm.
gives just like your opponent like something different to look at. Like it kind of can just mess with their vision. So just finding ways to kind of just give them something completely different versus right into their lap. Like we got to stop doing that. I feel like we tend to do that too much.
Yeah,
It's hard, but just finding ways to kind of create those different lines, different angles on the service line. Like I think serving is the one skill we have complete total control over, and it's like how you start the sport or
hmm,
start the rally. So it's like they're literally the ball is in your hand. Like you can dictate how you want it, how the rally to go, which I think is so cool.
Is there like a statistical mark that you guys are aiming for when it comes to serving? Whether it be, hey, we're trying to get them out of system X% of the time. We're trying
Yeah.
to get them to pass a 1.8. I don't think many beach coaches use the 3 point
I don't think
scale.
we do. We don't do the point scales. I'm just like, let's just serve as many aces as we can. As many
Perfect.
aces. You can get 12 aces. I'm just kidding. I mean, I try not to. I just tell them like when they go back to serve, like hit your spot, like good toss, hit it. Like I give them the green light to go for it. Like I always
Yeah.
want to give them the green light. And then like if we're missing way too many serves, I'm like, all right, we really need to go back to the yellow and be like, let's just keep it in.
Yeah.
So, but I always try and like as a coach, like I always try and encourage any athlete that I work with and the ones at UCLA, like go for your serve, like let it rip, like why not?
Yeah. Are you
Like,
seeing that?
but I mean, you kind of have to like you have to be okay with like giving up a couple misses to get the ace or like get them out of system because if you're just serving them marshmallows, like yeah, it's gonna be really hard to like get a defensive opportunity because they're in system.
Yeah.
So
We-
you kind of have to like take the bait a little bit and just like take that risk. But I think it's a good risk.
Yeah.
Especially like when you're on like in the semifinal, like you can't be just popping marshmallows. You got to go for your serve. But I think being okay with the air, I think sometimes we tend to shy away.
Hmm.
But it's like that's like kind of how you get into your groove of your serve.
Yeah. They won't be in
Watch,
the rhythm if we don't serve
yeah,
them the
watch
ball.
Maggie Boyd. Watch Maggie Boyd serve.
Yeah. She
Gnarly.
she grips and rips
She she gets better as the set goes on, I think. I
it.
guess I'm biased, but
Would you say that's something that you're seeing at so obviously NTDP would be
mhm.
considered the highest level of our youth sector, and obviously
Yeah.
we're not diving into individuals too much, but you said, big jump from juniors to collegiately. Would you say NTDP is doing a good job focusing on serving? Is that something that you kind of saw there? Hey, this is a big emphasis point for our group, or where did that kind of idea spurn from?
Well, I just think when you do USA training, you're playing with that
Yeah.
Mikasa ball. So that Mikasa ball just way like different than what we're used to with the Moulton or the Wilson. I just think that ball, from a serving standpoint, can get a lot of teams into
Yeah.
trouble. And you just see it like on the world tour, like what they're doing from the service line in all areas of the world, whether you're at altitude, humidity, um, he- heat, cold, like that ball can really do some work. So if we spend time, like we spend a lot of time on the service line with the ball of like finding ways to like be aggressive, top spin serve, float serve, short, deep, like the more we can get these, young athletes acclimated and used to this type of ball, because they're not playing with it at their college during their college seasons, because we play with a completely different ball. So when we're in these USA program, like these training camps, or at least the group that I'm been working with, which is the U21 group, we
Yeah.
try and spend a lot of time with serving. I think it's just at that international level, that's the game changer, I think. Um,
Yeah.
it's not like the number one. I just think serving is it's a big jump. Like the ball comes fast, like it's hard to pass, like it's hard to see, like it's just so
Stays up there
different.
longer. It doesn't drop as much, or God
Yeah.
forbid it drops straight off the table at about 12 feet.
I
Uh,
know, right? Or it can like sail depending on where you are. So I think
yeah,
that's something we've been working on in USA or with the group that I've been with. So I've been working with the U21 group, so we try and incorporate serving as much as we can, if not every single training.
yeah.
So,
And by the way, you were saying teams aren't training with it. If you do go out to Florida State, they play their
oh, you
home
guys are
events with
training?
the Mikasa.
Oh,
We do not. We are not training with the Mikasa yet. I would like to get my
okay.
hands on a few, but down at
Yeah.
FSU, not only do they train with it, they play their home tournaments with it,
Oh,
which I
they
think is.
do?
Yeah,
So,
which is kind of gnarly. I could only imagine bringing our gals down there and being like, okay, so by the way, you're gonna have to get rid of everything that you remember from all serve receive that you've been doing for the last nine
yeah.
months because it's all gone to heck in a handbasket.
Yeah.
Uh, well, Kelly, we really appreciate your time, and I know you've got a lot of new stuff going on at UCLA this fall. New assistant coach, some
Yeah.
some AVP pro, might have
Yeah,
been
I
on the
don't know if you
world
know
tour.
him.
Was he good? Did he compete well?
He won
No.
a couple tournaments, I think. He won like I think he won what's the one? He won the Manhattan Beach Open.
Yeah, yeah. His name may or may not be on the pier,
Yeah,
some way, shape, or
crazy.
form. But
Yeah.
Theo, you got Theo joining the staff. We're excited to see UCLA and hopefully the a repeat of the number one seed at the NCAA tournament this coming year. And
See.
hopefully one of us will be playing you. You might be facing the Govs or the Shots,
Hey.
first round of the NCAA tournament. But we always ask a question, and I think it's really cool going with you, who's definitely seen the game at a lot of facets, is what do we want to see next from collegiate beach volleyball? What's kind of the next step for our sport?
Hmm. The next step, I think if we can get on SportsCenter top 10, like just more streaming. I feel like I know that's a conversation we've always are continuing to have and finding ways to get our sport on, the network or on TV. And I think just if we can continue to push, and I think just getting that TV time is super important because it's a shame that it only comes around during the Olympics. And I think we can all be kind of finding ways to like really push and really ask like whatever conference you're in, just like even if it's a live stream, like get it on YouTube, finding ways to get it on a network. Like I think we all just need to continue to have that push. And I think just finding ways to just all collaborate and work together on that. It's not one person, but I think we can all do a small part in that. And then I'm trying to think what else. I feel like, I don't know. I think that's the big one for me.
That's a huge one. I think as much as we can get them streaming, it's been cool seeing LSU do all of their home events on VBTV.
Yeah.
Obviously, it'd be great to continue to promote more and more streaming opportunities at regular season tournaments. Conference tournaments have been getting better, like you said. I mean,
Yeah.
I think did you MPSF do a stream this year?
Uh, I think did during like our conference. So,
Yeah.
but
So it's
again,
like
it's like
tourney time.
I think it would be cool. I don't know if you can hear that airplane, but I think it would be cool to pick like each weekend because I know everyone is everywhere every weekend, but it's like everyone gets like one, like make one weekend where it's like this is on a network, like this is on
Yeah.
ESPN. Because it's like there are certain tournaments where it's like you have X amount of ranked teams that are there, and like that's some of the best volleyball, and yet no one can see it except for those that have the huddle exchange. It's just like what? Like what are we doing? So I just think like our sport has just gotten better and better over the years, like to see where it started, to see where it's going. I mean, the Gulf Shores was probably the gnarliest volleyball I've ever seen at the collegiate level, and it was just extra innings, three setters, high level, unbelievable just plays left and right. And the girls are putting in the time and the effort. So I think they've earned it. And I think we coaches got to continue to push it. And I think finding the support around it too. Like it takes a village. And I think it would be nice to see beach volleyball on ESPN or whatever network. So I think there's potential. I think we'll see what happens. So I'm excited to see. And I think continuing to support each other too. I think that's super important. Like we need each other. I think we can't do it alone. So
Yeah.
we got some great minds out there. Let's all come together, one mega mind, That
Team
would be the goal,
That'd be
team
great.
up,
right?
put our sport on TV, make it happen. Well, Kelly,
Exactly.
thank you so much. It was really great chatting with you, and we appreciate your time.
Oh my gosh, thank you for having me. This was so fun. I love talking volleyball. You guys are great. I really like what you guys are doing. I think it's great for our sport and for coaches too. So thank you. Very grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you.